Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today for another pick a card video. For those of you who are new, welcome in. My name is Melissa, and for today's topic, we are going to be digging into your next job. All right, so this video is really intended for any of you guys out there that are maybe searching for a new role, whether you're in a current job and you're just sort of like keeping your options open, or you're actively on a career transition hunt, or maybe some of you guys are trying to manifest a business or work toward being an entrepreneur. Whatever your situation is with career, this is going to be a reading to help shed some light onto what you are attracting in next. Now, keep in mind, you guys, these readings are general, so I'm not going to be able to pinpoint super specific titles of roles or companies or anything like that, but we will be able to get like a general idea of the characteristics of this job, maybe how it's going to come about, and when. I'm also going to be channeling timeframes to give you guys like a roundabout idea of when you can expect to attract this into your life. As a disclaimer, I do have to say, you guys, again, with these being general in nature, please keep in mind that like you don't have to claim this reading. So if you're presented here with a job or career that doesn't resonate with you, then the message probably just isn't for you and it's meant for someone else. Or if this is something that you do end up attracting into your life and it's not something you want to take, remember that you have the free will to be able to say, no, thank you, and just continue to manifest whatever it is that you're truly wanting to do for work, all right? So now that we've got those disclaimers out of the way, let's go ahead and get into our card selection for today's reading. Starting here on the left, we have group number 1, 2, and 3. So I would love for you to go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about your career. Think about the next job you're attracting into your life. Think about when it's happening for you. Select the card or crystal that you're feeling the most intuitively guided to, and click the timestamp below to skip ahead to your reading. Hey there, pile number 1. So if you chose the selenite, let's go ahead and get into your reading about the next job that you are attracting in. So we're starting off here with your tarot cards, and we are starting off here with the message of the 10 of Pentacles. We have the 2 of Swords, and then we also have the 6 of Wands here. Okay, interesting. So pile number 1, here's what I'm seeing for you guys. So with this 10 of Pentacles, I'm seeing this as being really, really positive in terms of finances with regard to this job. 10 of Pentacles is telling me that whatever this role is, I feel like financial abundance and literally wealth that's written here on the card is on the table for you with this. So I think that you guys will probably be very happy with the amount of money that you're making at this job. And 10 of Pentacles is also telling me that this is a job or a career path that you guys are moving into that is able to kind of build you long-term stability and security. 10 of Pentacles really talks about legacy. It talks about building. It talks about, being able to like accumulate almost like generational wealth, if that makes sense. So when I see this here in a career reading, I feel like this is really positive. I feel like this is going to be a career path where you're going to be taken care of financially, and it's going to be a place where you could see yourself kind of settling in for a long-term kind of career growth. And I do think here with this 2 of Swords, I feel like this job, whatever this is, I think you're going to feel like there's a lot of peace behind this because, finally this might feel like a place that's very stable and secure for you. Something that you feel like you can just kind of like, like this is a sigh of relief. Like maybe whatever job you guys are in right now feels a little bit chaotic. And so you've been really needing to kind of transition into something that feels a little bit more stable and a little bit more peaceful for you. And I do see that coming in with this new role that you're trying to transition into here, that you're attracting in. Something else that I'm picking up on here though, pile number one is with this Two of Swords, I do feel like there could be a little bit of a period of indecision leading up to you taking this role. I also feel like this could be a job that maybe you haven't considered before. Like maybe it's a different field or different type of work than you've done in the past. And so it might be something that you kind of just naturally have like blinders onto, quote unquote, because it's not really something that you've ever considered before or something that you've thought that you've been able to do. But I definitely see that once you're transitioned into this, you're going to feel really happy and at peace with the decision. Six of Wands is also telling me that this is a job where I feel like you guys are going to be maybe leading people. I feel like this is a place where you're going to be able to achieve a lot, that you'll be celebrated, you'll be recognized, almost like you're the star, like the standout star of whatever this company or organization is. Yeah, but with that Six of Wands, there's definitely a lot of leadership coming through here. So some of you guys might be transitioning into a role where you're a supervisor of some sort or a leader, a project lead, things like that. And I do see you guys definitely being in the spotlight as well, leading a team. There could be a little bit of like competitive energy here with this job for some of you guys, but overwhelmingly what I'm getting with the Six of Wands is like, this is going to feel like you guys have like won the jackpot. Like this is exactly what you've wanted, the type of path, the type of role, the type of recognition, all the things. Okay, so really positive so far. Let's take a look at some other cards here. So we have the Avenger. Okay. We also have Slave. So with this Avenger energy, pile number one, I do feel this could be the type of role where you all are meant to like advocate for others. I'm coming back here to this neutral energy, this peace energy. So maybe some of you guys are coming in. This talks about balancing the scales of justice, talks about righteousness on behalf of society. So in this case, I'm looking at as like righteousness on behalf of like the organization or the company that you're working for. And so what I'm feeling from this pile number one is I feel like you guys are going to be the person that comes in to maybe help with conflict resolution. Maybe this is something to do with like human resources, HR, maybe even just management or something along those lines. But you all are going to be the ones that are hired to sort of keep the peace and to make sure that everybody is taken care of in your organization, really advocating for people. Something else that just came through that just hit me is wherever you're going with this Ten of Pentacles, this could be a very established company as well. That's something else, another message that just came through. This could be a very established organization that you're joining here. We do have the message here of Slave. So on the light side, this talks about surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. And I do see that coming through here with this Two of Swords, because Two of Swords is sort of like a surrender sort of energy where it's like we're not really taking action. We're just kind of accepting as is for right now. But this also talks about giving your willpower to an external authority out of making fear of your own choices. So this could be talking about, you know, you guys, I'm noticing the strings here. So just maybe one aspect of this role is that you all are going to be really kind of tied to this company and the way that this organization wants to do things. This is going to be the authority figure over maybe how you get to behave or how you get to do the work, if that makes sense, versus you all really being able to make those executive decisions. Okay, so like there's strings here with this job, but I don't necessarily seeing it as being a bad thing just yet. Okay, looks pretty positive so far. A few more cards. So we have the Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself. We also have the Frog Spirit, clear out the clutter. So right off the bat, with this clearing out of the clutter, I feel like this is going to be a role where you will need to be very organized. You're going to have to figure out how to kind of streamline things, make things flow a little bit more smoothly. And I also think going back to this peace energy in the Avenger, this is about like maintaining the peace amongst people at work, getting rid of any like distractions, being able to mitigate any sort of conflict that could be going on, things like that. We also have the Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself. So this is, I think, a role where you all, again, going back to that Six of Wands, are going to be maybe in a leadership position or being in a role where you have to really be very confident, because Six of Wands is a very confident energy. And so this is just kind of reaffirming that this confidence is going to be needed as you move into tackling this role and moving into this position of almost like advocating for others, if that is what you guys end up moving into. I'm also seeing this as a message of you being able to sort of drive and motivate people and others within the organization as well. So it's like you have to stand out on your own, but I also feel like you guys are helping others to sort of be able to stand up for themselves as well. Okay. We also have the message of healing. Candle flame, burn this hour, bring me your healing power. Again, I keep going back to this Two of Swords. So I really feel like you guys are going to be stepping into a position where you are maybe like the fixer, you know what I mean? Like you're the person coming in to like clean things up. You're the person coming in to keep the peace. You're coming in to kind of like support others and support this organization. There could be like a situation that when you guys are hired, you come into like a little bit of a mess, which I think sort of happens to us. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times if you're in a business world or any field, really, a lot of times you're cleaning up from the person before you, or you're just cleaning up, you know, from lack of, you know, having someone in that role before. So this healing could talk about like a period of time where you're sort of like metaphorically healing the position or healing the organization. There could also be an element of healing for people that you're providing in this environment as well, but also for yourself too. I think that I was kind of picking up on that maybe you guys have been feeling a little chaotic in whatever role you're in now. And so I do see a lot of peace coming in with this job. You know, I'm not really seeing a ton of conflict or challenge really with this right off the bat. So it looks really positive. And so this role itself could actually feel like something that's very healing for you to step into. So final messages we have here are going to be the timing of when you may expect to attract this into your life. So I pulled 2 cards for this just so that we can get, you know, a wide variety of time frames. You know, there's going to be a lot of people that have eyes on this video, so it's going to be different for everyone. So we start off with the message of weekend vibes, and then we have 1 to 3 months from now. Perfect. So weekend vibes is telling me that like the weekend is of significance as it pertains to either like learning about this job, transitioning into this job. It may happen over a weekend time period. 1 to 3 months from now is kind of a more specific time frame of when you can expect to kind of attract this opportunity into your life. You may find out about it when you're looking online on the weekend. Something about the weekend is of significance here. But I do see that if you guys decide to accept this opportunity that's being attracted into your life right now, it's coming in 1 to 3 months from now. And as I was saying in the intro, you guys don't have to take it just because this is the next thing that's like, you know, attracting in for you. It doesn't mean that you have to take the job, right? But overall, it looks really positive if it's something that you guys want to transition into. So I would love to hear from you in the comments down below, pile number 1, how this message resonated with you. Tell me all about your job search. Tell me what you're thinking. Thank you all for taking the time to view this video if you made it till the end, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Hey there, pile number 2. So if you guys chose this blue Archetype Tower, let's go ahead and see what the next job is that you all are attracting into your life. Starting off with the tarot messages, and please make sure you all stay until the very end because I'm going to be channeling time frames for you as well. So let's see what this job is. So we're starting off here. We have the 5 of Cups, we have the 7 of Swords, and we have the 4 of Cups. All right, so pile number 2. So first and foremost, one thing I want to point out here is that we do have 2 cards of the suit of cups. So right off the bat, what I'm getting from this is that this is a job that is going to maybe feel like it's more in alignment with your emotions, like the emotional aspect of this role, maybe the creative aspect of this role, maybe for some of you even there's a spiritual aspect to this role that's at play here. That's kind of it's like the suit or the element that we're seeing in common here is water. And so the water element with cups has to do with our emotions, our feelings, things like that. Okay, so right off the bat, that's something that I'm picking up on here. I want to start off here with this 4 of Cups. We have the message of luxury, and this is a really interesting depiction of the 4 of Cups, and it's also a really interesting verbiage that they use to go along with it here. And what I'm kind of picking up on here with this job, you guys, is I'm feeling like maybe some of you are going to be like moving into a role where it feels like very chill. Like, I think it's going to feel very chill. I think it's going to be very relaxed. I think that you're going to be in an environment where you feel very comfortable with the people that are around you. Like, this feels like a very casual environment. So maybe some of you guys, like, this could be a situation where like you work from home, right? So you have like some personal, because what I'm really picking up on here with this is there's a lot of like personal accoutrements around them. Like, they have their phone, they're like laying on the couch, they've got like their snacks, right? Their milk, all that stuff. It feels just like a very casual environment, like a homey environment. So I think some of you guys might be able to do this role working from home. Others of you, this is just talking about you'll be in this very casual work environment. And I think that the people in this job that you are surrounded with will feel very comfortable. Like, you can literally just be yourself, be very chill with them. So I'm seeing that as being very, very positive. Some of you may also be transitioning into a field that's more about luxury as well. That word is really standing out to me. So luxury is of significance, whether this is like luxury beauty or retail or vehicles or whatever the case is. It feels like that is of significance for a few of you guys watching this. Now, moving over here, there's a couple messages that I'm seeing that makes it feel as though maybe your mindset around this job, or there may be attributes about this job that might feel a bit challenging for some, okay? 5 of Cups, disappointment. So the 5 of Cups sort of talks about like us focusing more on the disappointments or the negative side, the spilt cups, quote unquote, versus the positive attributes that are still there with us. Okay, so I do feel like for some of you guys, you might be transitioning into this role and not maybe seeing it as a role that you feel really excited about initially. You might feel like it's not 100% what you would have wanted for yourself, but maybe you're taking it because there's some element that does attract you to it, or maybe you're feeling like there's not other options out there, so this is what we're settling for right now. But there's definitely this element here of like pessimism. Now, for others of you, I'm seeing this more as like this job is going to require you to be in environments that feel low vibe sometimes, right? So like there's a lot of different types of work that's out there where you're dealing like with the public, or you're dealing with situations that are not always easy, that can be very emotional. One thing that's coming into my mind is like social work or something like that. That would make sense with like people's homes being shown here for some of you guys. So it could be that this role that you guys are transitioning into is something where you're dealing with environments that feel kind of low vibe sometimes, you know, and this is another depiction of like a home situation. You've got like this cabinet with photos, there's flowers here, like somebody would have had them out. So being in the home feels like something that's kind of coming up here. With the 7 of Swords, this is telling me that this role is going to be very much like a strategy-driven role as well. So we talked about how there's emotions involved here, but I also think that the 7 of Swords talks about being strategic. And so this is definitely going to be a role where you guys are going to have to be really smart, really savvy, something where you may have to like plan or move in silence, not always show your hand super openly to other people that are around you. Futility is an interesting word to go along with this card too, because futility talks about feeling like your efforts are in vain, right? So I think, again, going back to that like disappointment energy, this could be a role where like, even though it feels really chill and there's positives to it, like there could be certain things where you guys feel like no matter what strategy you implement, there's something that's out of your hands with it, if that makes sense. But let's get a little more insight. This is pretty interesting. So we have the message here of the student. Okay. And then we have the Midas Miser. Interesting. So the student, of course, talks about like learning, being able to maybe go to school. So for some of you guys, this might be a role where you're working with students. Maybe you're working in an education-related field. For others of you, I'm seeing this as a role that you guys may be transitioning into while you're completing school. And so that could be why there's sort of like this chill vibe or chill attitude that you may have toward it, because you know that this is sort of like a transition role for you where it may not fill up all of your cups, but it's something that is kind of a stepping stone. It's a strategy to get you to where you actually want to go. And then with the Midas Miser, this talks about really having an entrepreneurial spirit, right? So for some of you guys, this might be you're working for an entrepreneur. This could also be a situation where you guys are trying to like build up your own business. And once again, maybe this is like a stepping stone to sort of get you to whatever your ultimate goal is. Money is involved here though, you know, because the Midas and the Miser, this talks about like being able to, you know, delight in life's riches or share money. Yeah. There's also a message here about a fear over losing your wealth. So keep in mind, you guys, that like if you're only taking this role because of like money or something like that, you know, you may want to just check in with yourself and make sure that the job itself is going to feel fulfilling to you before you settle because of that qualification. You know what I mean? So the Badger Spirit, this talks about being fearless and bold. Wombat Spirit, be at home. You see, you guys, this is so interesting. I love these synchronicities. So this is definitely something where home life is going to be of significance. So whether this is you all working from home or going into other people's homes, like I keep thinking of like a caseworker or something like that. Being at home and working at home is going to be of significance here. The Badger Spirit, being fearless and bold. So this is about you guys really being able to go into situations with a sense of confidence, kind of going back to that Seven of Swords, that strategic mindset coming through. You guys are going to be in this role and you're going to have to find ways to really drum up that confidence, that solar plexus energy. We have a lot of yellow here, which does talk about solar plexus. This is the willpower to do things, the confidence to achieve. You guys also have the number 4 repeating here, and this talks a lot about building a foundation. So I'm really strongly feeling that whatever this job is for you, group number 2, it's something that's going to help you all kind of move into or set up for a foundation for your career. So whether it has to do with entrepreneurship or whether it just has to do with, you know, being a step, you know, toward achieving a higher educational goal or maybe a transition out of school. This job is for you to like be able to build a foundation and learn kind of strategic savvy skills. We also have the message of creativity, which is beautiful. So like I was mentioning at the beginning with the cups energy, you guys, this is going to still be a role where emotions are involved and you are going to be able to let creativity kind of flow in and out. We also have that message of luxury at the beginning here as well. Remember with the 4 of Cups. So there is an element of this role where you are going to be able to be creative and sort of let that creativity aspect of yourself shine through. So lots of different messages, lots of different examples coming up, pile 2. So I feel like there's a lot of different scenarios that could apply to many of you that are out there. So let's go ahead and see, looking at your time frames, when you may expect to attract this job in, okay? So the first one we have is during vacation and travel. And I pulled 2 time frame messages just because. And then we have divine timing. Okay. So Spirit is not necessarily wanting to give you guys a specific time, but it looks like vacation and travel is of significance. Of when you guys may uncover that this opportunity becomes available. So think about like when you guys are traveling again, when are you going on a trip, vacation, you know, or maybe even just doing something outside of the ordinary in your day-to-day life. That's when this opportunity is going to present itself to you. And with divine timing, this talks about like, this is going to come through for you exactly when it's supposed to happen. This is going to be presented to you when you are actually ready to receive it, if that makes sense. It's just one stop on your journey. So I think that that one's always hard because I know sometimes we want to have like a very specific time of when something is going to happen, but this usually just means that we need to kind of release and allow it to flow into our lives when it is supposed to, if that makes sense, okay? So let me know, pile number 2, how this message resonated with you. I'm very curious to hear about your job search and what's kind of been going on with you guys. So drop me a comment below. Thank you so much for taking the time to view this video. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey there, pile number 3. So if you chose this Bumblebee Jasper, let's go ahead and see what the next new job is for you guys based off your current energy. And please stay until the end because we will be pulling time frames for you as well. So starting off with your tarot cards, we have the message of the 9 of Wands. We have the 5 of Wands. And we also have the Hierophant. Very cool. So right off the bat, you guys, we do have 2 Wands cards. So this is definitely telling me that this is going to be a role that is very active. This is going to be a very action and action-oriented type of job where you're going to kind of like always be on the move. I feel like you guys are going to be around a lot of people as well. And I think it is going to be a hard work type of role. Starting off here with the Nine of Wands, this really talks about having put in a lot of hard work and effort to achieve something. So I feel like this could be a position that you guys have been working toward for a really long time. And I also think that when you guys get it, fortitude and strength are going to be of significance. I think that you guys are going to be working really hard at this job. Nine of Wands definitely talks about like putting that nose to the grindstone and really pushing yourself through. And it may not necessarily feel easy, you guys. I don't want to sugarcoat it for you. This definitely, feels like a role that's going to challenge you for sure, but it's definitely not all bad. It's just going to require a lot of hard work and resilience, I think. Five of Wands here, this talks about competition. So I feel like this is going to be sort of a competitive environment that you guys are working in. You may have to work with other people, kind of work with partners to kind of get things done. And, it might be like, for whatever reason, like a sales environment is kind of coming to my mind, like where, you have like numbers you have to hit, you have goals you have to achieve. And so you're kind of competing against your peers, if that makes sense, to achieve those goals. But there's competitive energy here, and there's other people in your environment that I think will be like whether it's colleagues, coworkers, cross-functional partners, however it is with whatever job you're doing, there's going to be other people here that you're going to have to find ways to work with, okay? Hierophant is interesting. So this talks about what am I trying to say? This would, in a career environment, what this would tell me is that this is like an organization that has a very specific way that they do things. A company, an organization that has their own sort of rules that they go by, their own sort of like culture that they abide by, the way that they do things in the organization. That is going to be a big major part of this job, is sort of like adapting to the way that they do things. For others of you, this is talking about a government job or something in like the spiritual community as well. Hierophant for me can also talk about, like I said, government. So maybe working for your government, wherever you guys live, there's a very specific way that they would do things, or spiritual. In this particular card, it's depicted as a spiritual person, like someone that's like in a spiritual advisor sort of position. So some of you guys may also be moving into a more spiritual type of a role as well. That could be of significance here for some of you. I also see that there is probably a person of significance that sort of like is maybe the face of this organization, that might be the person that's like setting the precedent for how things go, like a CEO or something like that. So take how it resonates with you. There's a lot of scenarios here, but the number 5 is coming up twice. That is definitely a number of challenge, and it is also a number of change. So like I was mentioning at the beginning, I don't think that this role is going to feel super easy peasy for you. I definitely think it's going to provide challenge. However, challenge is what is able to take us to change, right? Like once we kind of overcome the challenge of something, we grow and we're able to evolve to the next level. So just keep that in mind as you guys move into this. So we have the Don Juan. Okay. We also have the Prince. This is so funny, you guys. So yeah, like kind of going back to that like partnership, that the dealing with people, I think that you guys are going to really have to kind of flex your, how do we say it, organizational savvy skills. What do I mean by this? This is going to be the type of job where you guys are going to have to really be able to schmooze with people. You're going to have to network. You're going to have to be able to kind of like charm people into doing what you need them to do. So relationships, I think, are going to be incredibly important as you guys are moving through this job. You see, the Don Juan, this talks about like seduction. The Prince also sort of talks about that seductive romantic charm. And so if it doesn't feel authentic for you guys to like do stuff like that, I like to kiss ass, you know what I mean? Just keep in mind that it seems like this is going to be a pretty major part of this job, where you're going to have to really be charming and kind of like turn on that side of your personality to be able to get things done. If that comes easy to you, then I think it'll be great. But I think if that comes like as a challenge to you, this might be why we have some of these more challenging cards coming up, okay? You're going to have to be able to exude a lot of confidence to be able to do that. All right. We have the lizard spirit, dream the world into being. Okay. The dolphin spirit, this and that are true. Interesting. Yeah, so you guys, like, this and that are true. So it's like, when you guys think of a dolphin, it lives underwater, but it can also breathe out of the water, right? It's jumping up into the air and then it's in the ocean. So it's like, it can be in both of those places. It can exist when it's leaping up in the air. It can exist in the ocean. So I think you guys in this job are going to find that, like, more than one thing can be true at once, right? Like, I keep going back to, like, this personality, this charming sort of vibe that you guys will all be challenged with here. So it's like, maybe you guys know you have to achieve a goal, right, in this job. But maybe the way that you do it is through being charming and kind of turning on, like, a more schmoozy side of your personality. And there's, you know, that's okay. Like, you're just doing it to get your job done. I don't know if I'm making sense. I feel like I'm kind of rambling here, but the point I'm trying to make is that you can exist and kind of flex different sides of your own personality in this job, okay? Dream the world into being. This talks about, you know, you guys really being able to kind of create your own outcomes here. So I think kind of going back to those relationships, like, say this is a sales job or you have to get, like, different accounts or you've got a network and things like that. It's like, I think you guys are going to have the ability and the autonomy to maybe be able to create the type of environment that you want. So even though you're working for an organization, there is this element here of being able to kind of put your own specific ideas into life as you're doing your work. Look at this. We also have harmony. As I create, I will share harmony divine with love and care. So again, like, going back to those, you know, kind of relationships, that keeps coming up here, you guys. Like, you guys are going to have to really find ways to create balance and harmony and positive working relationships to get this job done. And I think it's going to involve you having to kind of turn on a side of your personality that's very charming and schmoozy, like I kept saying before. So let's see what kind of time frame we're looking at for you, pile 3. Okay, so we have this month. That's really positive. And then we have morning coming through. So it looks like this is a role that you all will be able to kind of transition into pretty quickly. So at the timing of you viewing this video, whatever month we're in, it looks like it's going to be this month that you may transition into this. And then with the message of morning, this is telling me that the morning will be a time frame of significance here. So whether this is getting the offer in the morning, starting the job in the morning, learning about this job and having it presented to you on a morning time frame this month, take it however it resonates for you, but it looks like morning and the current month that we're in are of significance here. So let me know, pile 3, how this message resonated with you. I'm super curious to hear, like, kind of what's coming through for you on your career search. So drop me a comment down below and let me know. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to view this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.